All right, guys, we're in the Mustang here. Got it legal today. Just got back from getting the title done and the tags transferred over and everything. So we got all that stuff taken care of. So now I just want to take it for a test drive and just really see if I fixed it. All right. So we're at 138 degrees right now. I'm going to put you guys up here on the mount on the windshield and let you look outside. So here we go. All right, so I heard the engine fan just kick on, so I know it's working right at the moment. It kicked on for a second and then back off. So we're in good shape so far. Finally get to drive this thing legally. I don't know where I want to go. All I know is I want to drive it somewhere and see how it's doing. Third year right now, running just a little over 2,000 RPM, showing we're doing about 40 mile an hour, 35 or so. I keep forgetting that the speedometer's off because they put smaller tires on the back end of this thing. That's another thing I need to get changed on it. It needs to get the bigger diameter tires put back on the back end. It'll give me a little better highway mileage that way. how to get that thing adjusted down a little bit tighter so it's on the bump stops. It's holding at 198 degrees right now. I doubt you guys can even see that. Speedometer says we're doing 80 mile an hour. So that means we're doing about 75 or 70, something like that. I really won't ever know unless I get pulled over or unless I see one of those radar deals, or if I use my phone. I don't know if I have an app on there that tells me what speed I'm doing. I don't have an app on my phone right now that tells me. Now this car is not going to get very good gas mileage because it has a, I don't know, it's like a delete thing they put on the intake. The intake is not stock anymore, so it doesn't have the little like butterfly flapper valves in there anymore. So it doesn't run good because it needs a tune for that mod being done to it. So that's probably the next thing I need to do is get my tuner unlocked so I can actually tune this engine or get it tuned. It says 200 degrees, so I kind of hate getting out here on the interstate because you got to go so far before you can turn around. But it's done this good this far. It might not overheat. It might overheat. Who knows? If it hits 220, I'll be pulling over and hooking up the jumper wires to the engine fan and get that thing kicked on. At 202 right now, so I mean it's still kind of holding right there. I think that's about where they normally run, is about 200, which to me seems crazy, but it is a new motor, so I think new motors usually run a little bit warmer before, you know, until you get them broke in. like 204, 202 is going to be normal operating temp. Kind of peppy. Barely hit that throttle and whew. Damn traction control. Right now. That in-town driving is what probably raised the temp up. It's at 210 now. On me. I don't know if that engine fan's kicking on. It's pretty warm out today. I'd say it's probably at least 100 degrees outside. $2.79 a gallon. Woo! That'll make you not want to drive a Mustang. I'm just going through this way right here to kind of, you know, do the stop and go traffic type thing. Got 216 degrees. This guy looks like he doesn't know how to drive. 218 degrees. Now I'm gonna have to pull in here and turn the engine fan on. Have to. The engine fan is on, so I don't know. It's at 218 right now, just sitting here. So that might be about where it's going to run. I don't know. Like when you're in town, probably 204 on the interstate. rebuilt motor. The rings, I was told, have been gapped for nitrous, and basically they built the motor to be a race motor, but it was never used as a race motor. So I don't know. Start heading back towards the house now. She has a little bit of hesitation. That when I punch it to the floor, you know, if I don't just gradually get into it, if I punch it to the floor, it hesitates really bad. And that's because it doesn't have the proper tune for the modification they done on the intake. They, I don't remember what they call that plate that's in there. It's like a butterfly valve on both sides of the intake. They took that out. So I mean, there's actually a special part you have to buy and put on there, which they did. They put that on there. And I don't have the other part, so I can't just, you know, put it back to stock. Apparently the other intake on the other motor that they said that I will get with this whenever I get a chance to go pick that up, they said the intake on it got broke, so I don't know. Overheating. So 230 degrees, decided to go ahead and pop the hood, put the jumper wire on directly to the battery. I'll show you guys that when I get back to the house. We're back down to 218 degrees, and what's happening is the engine fan is kicking off. So that makes me think the engine fan is drawing too many amps, and so it's turning it off. That was just topping out on third gear, 70 mile an hour. This car 212 degrees right now, so we're doing good. Semi truck pulling out in front of us. Yeah, I think we'll hold back here. We ain't gonna make it past him. He took all the fun away. No, we weren't doing 90. I'm just kidding. Got some torque right there, about 3,000 RPM, man. Woo. This dude's getting on it though. Still only doing the speed limit. He took off pretty fast for a pickup. Man, I just love the sound of that. That is so mean. Was that a Charger? I think that was a Charger just went by. Bronco 2 go by that looked a lot like the first one I ever owned. Well, I guess the only one I ever owned. I only owned one Ford Bronco 2. Well, guys, I'm pretty sure I know what I need to do. Got to save up some money, get a radiator fan for this car, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get a bigger radiator, because this thing, even with the fan running continuous, it doesn't have a thermostat in it at all. We are at 206 degrees right now. And yeah, I'm getting on it a little bit here and there, but I'm testing it out. I'm trying to see if it's going to overheat on me with the fan running all the time. The fan is able to keep it cooled down so far, as long as the fan stays on. But I would like to get a bigger fan, because it's going to need it anyway if I start putting, you know, more horsepower to this thing. I mean, just the mod they done to it adds quite a bit of horsepower. I'm not for certain exactly how much, but and here's where we got to slow her down. They'll get you here. sitting cop is out and about today, because I seen him earlier. I mean, you guys seen him on the beginning of this trip. So I guess that answers my question. The car will overheat, like just the way it sets, without putting a jumper wire on there and turning that fan on continuous. It will overheat. So we hit 230, and I don't want to push it any more than that. At least it didn't start boiling over yet. You get much over that, and it's gonna start doing damage to the engine. I guess my phone's connected to the Bluetooth of the car. I really like this car though. Pretty nice. I need to get a tire for it. Got one tire that's kind of bald. All right, guys, so check that out. It's at 198 now. Now that I have the engine fan on continuous, so apparently, I mean, if I wanted to drive it right now and not fix anything else on it, I'd probably have to put a switch on the dash and fix that. That way I can just flip it and it'll turn the fan on all the time. That's not really what I want to do. I want it fixed right. I don't want a bunch of stuff on the dash, you know, that just, you know, kind of affects the resale value. I don't want this turning into a piece of junk, basically. You know, I don't want things on this looking Jimmy rig, if you know what I mean. So I mean, this is the first time I ever owned a Mustang, and it's a fairly nice Mustang. It has had some mods and stuff done to it, which I believe are contributing to making it run a little warmer. Plus, it is a newly rebuilt engine. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of miles on it. The odometer has 163,900, okay? But it's got a rebuilt engine in there. The other motor that was in it, they blew it up, had to get another motor. They bought this one actually from a guy who had just rebuilt it to put in his Mustang as a race. He had a race car Mustang, so there's already been some mods done to it. It's not a stock intake on it. It doesn't have the restrictor plate thing in there. It looks like a, I didn't know what it was or anything until I watched a video on YouTube about mods that you can do. And I noticed, you know, when I took the intake manifold off, you guys can see that there's no butterfly plate in there in the bottom part of that. It actually has the delete kit already on it. So I don't want to get rid of that. I mean, who would want to get rid of that? But the thing is, they bought this right here, and this thing, I guess when they bought it, they didn't know that it had to be unlocked or whatever. And this is already married to another vehicle. So from my understanding, if I want that to work without paying a bunch of money for a whole nother one, I mean, basically you spend, I think what I heard was $150 to SCT, and they can unlock it. I guess they give you a code or something. I'm not for sure how that works. I'll have to call them and find out. But $150 to get that unlocked, and then I can do a mod on it or whatever. I can get it tuned, or get a tune for it. I believe, I don't know, I think you can hook it to your computer, download it into here, and then put it on the car. You can get like a professional tuner to send you a tune. You just basically give them the specs of the car, like what mod you've got done to it and stuff, and they'll send you a tune, and you know, for a fee, right? And then this thing would probably run a lot better. It'd probably have a lot more horsepower. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy with this car, guys. Let me go ahead and shut it off. We're at 194, and see, the engine fan's still running. So the problem with that right now is, whoo, boy, it's warm out here. I want to get back in there in the AC. All right, so we got to pop the hood up. We got to unplug this. All I did is I just plugged it in right there in that little pin. So that right there is working. Feeling the temp of that, the wire. It's a little warm. Not too terribly bad. All right. Just unplug that for now. Yeah, unplug that. All right, anyways, I'll put the relay back in there here in a minute so I don't forget it. Not that I'm going to really be driving this thing very much. It does not get very good gas mileage. I could tell already. We started off at 3/4 of a tank, and we're almost down to a half already, just from that little cruise that we done. That's horrible, horrible gas mileage if you ask me. Oh, the keys are already in it. Let's take a look at this. Well, we're not setting on level anymore, so I don't know if that's going to affect it a whole lot. But when I pulled in here, it was down to, yeah, it's almost on the half a tank now. Golly. Whew. All right. Let me start it up here real quick. Let's get our info. Now it says 175 miles to empty. I think before it said 212. We didn't go that far. I don't think we did. Let me see. 21.1 miles. Well, I don't know. Can't do math in my head very good. Let me see here. Yeah, that's 37 miles. We should have got 37 miles out of that, but we got 21. Oh yeah, I did get on it a little bit, didn't I? Okay, well, that kind of makes sense. All right, so I need to get bigger diameter tires on the back, possibly bigger rear end gears, I don't know, so that it will get better highway mileage, because that's really what I'm going to want this thing for, is to take on long trips. And yeah, just something I can drive across country if I want. If I want to go to a meetup that is quite a ways away, I want to be able to hop in this car and go. I don't really care for it to, you know, have like a ton of horsepower. I wanted this to be like just a nice car, looks nice, kind of sporty, and it's just a cruiser. You know, you can cruise around, looks good, sounds good, but it does come at a cost, I guess. So anyways, guys, I guess we'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this little cruise video, and if you like this kind of video, just make sure you smash that thumbs up, and maybe we'll do a few more like that or whatever, whenever we go on a little trip or something, or, you know, anytime I do any kind of mod to this car or change something on it, I'm gonna do a video on it so you guys will see. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.